Hello and welcome back to the final of today's climbing entertainment. As you can see, the sun has I'm almost ready to get cracking on the men's competition. My name is Matt and I'm joined once again by James. James, good evening, sir. How you doing?
Good evening to you. Yeah, good, thank you. Looking forward to this final now. I tell you, yeah, temperature's really dropped. Sun's out of the sky. Darkness has fallen on the spectators. And we're about to see some men's final action. So yeah, it's shaping up to be a good final, I think.
Yeah, it is indeed. If the women's is anything to go by, and we are waiting for the men now. Simone is going to introduce the athletes to us. You see, coming onto stage now. I think he might be ready. I'm not sure if he's waiting for me or not, but let's go down to Simone.
Ladies and gentlemen, now here we are with the last moment of this European Cup here at the Monkey Island in Roma. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we already mentioned how important is this moment for the guys that are going to exit from the ISO zone in a while. This moment comes from years of preparation. This moment comes from the perseverance of this guy, but not only from them. I have the feeling that I want to remember everybody, all the work that are behind these athletes. All trainers, coach, and people that helped these athletes to achieve the moment to get a ticket for a European final. I want to remember all the people that take the hands of these guys since they were young to mature and get to this moment. So there's a huge thanks that I want to give to all the family that are behind of these guys, all the technical team, all the national federation of sport climbing that do the path close to the guys in order to bring them here. And now here we are, Roma, with the moment we are waiting for, with the moment these guys are waiting for. We are now in the moment that have to give all the value of their effort put in place by all of that people, by all of the person who bring that guys to that moment. And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final of the European Cup Rome 2025. Let's check out the athletes. First athlete from Austria, already got a 13th place in the European Cup in Genova at his first final. Ladies and gentlemen, for Austria, Andreas Hofer. Ce lo siamo perso. The next one is multiple time European Cup winner. I've been already finalist at the World Cup and is the European lead champion. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Spain, Guillermo Peinado Franganillo. Let's go with the next one. Two-time silver medalist at the European Youth Cup, at bronze medalist at the European Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, representing France, Noé Moltault. Let's go with the next, another gold medalist winner in the European Cup and semi-finalist at the World Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, representing France, Léo Favot. The next one, I've been a bronze medalist at the European Youth Cup and I've been at 6th place at the Euro Youth Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Czech Republic, Lukas Mokroluski. And now Roma, here we are. Italian overall Bouldering Cup winner, World University Champion, ladies and gentlemen, representing Italy, Nick Anthony Salvatore. Let's go on with the next. Another silver medalist, the European Cup, the one who crashed the qualification. Ladies and gentlemen, representing France, Antoine Girard. And now here we are with the last AKA the best, 9th place at the World Bouldering Cup and the European Boulder Youth Champion, ladies and gentlemen, representing France, Samuel Richard. And so, ladies and gentlemen, athletes, this is your public. Rome, present yourself to the athletes. Di più Roma! So let's share some fair. Thank you guys. You can back to the ISO and we can start the comp.
Well, there you go. Those are the athletes who will be competing tonight. And what an introduction from Simone down on the mats. As you heard, multiple gold medalists, European champions, university champions, but all that fades into nothingness because tonight it's all about the 4 boulders in front of us. And I know James will have had the lowdown from the setters. I'm not sure if he can hear me, if the noise is too loud in his ear, but James,
I've got you.
If you can hear me, wicked. Yep. Can you give me a little bit of a sort of an overview of the boulders? What kind of styles are we expecting to see tonight?
Gladly, yeah. So we've got something really quite dynamic from the first boulder. It's a coordination boulder, let's say, with a bit of strength-based climbing in the center. Setting yourself up for another potentially coordination-based move to finish. Although the setters do think that you might be able to do it in like a single dyno to the final hold, but there's been some tweaking on that boulder, which I'll tell you about a little bit later. But then men's 2 is a sort of tentative boulder on some holds which are relying on a very strange sort of sweep of dual texture cutting through the smooth surface. So the athletes really have to read where to hold the hold, how to take it in exactly the right way to use it, and then there's a sneaky screw on which is completely blind, which makes up the zone hold on that second boulder. Then moving on to boulder 3, it's a power-based boulder with dynamic and powerful climbing through those violet volumes in the center of the wall, and then up to a black crimp, and then like potentially a tentative finish with a sloper hold which has been used upside down, so the guys are going to have to squeeze it with their thumbs underneath to progress to the final hold to get the top. And then last but not least, I don't know really how to refer to this one. I would probably call it a power boulder. It's like finger strength dependent boulder, and also going to require a lot of squeeze. You've got some quite open sort of slopey pinches. Those red holds are quite open slopey pinches, so you're going to have to engage the squeeze and get your pinch on to get through those moves at both the start and the sort of middle section of that boulder to even get a chance of topping it.
Fantastic, James. Well, we just saw you on camera there, mate. You're an absolute star. Thank you very much. And James, you've been taking pictures of all of these boulders. Just remind everyone, where can they find your Instagram and the in-depth knowledge we want?
Yeah, so for some close-ups of some of the details, the intricacies of the footholds and the handholds, go to Appiano Distribution Studio on Instagram. There's a sequence of photos from all of the rounds, this one included, and you'll get a closer look at what the athletes are relying on for those small foothold placements or the handhold placements. I kind of feel like that might be intriguing for people who really want to get into the detail of this competition. So, yeah, feel free to go and have a look there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been invaluable, James. Thank you so much for all of your work through this competition and speaking to me as well. It's been a pleasure. The women, it's been good, man. It's been good. I've enjoyed it. Now, the women competed earlier on. I'm not going to reveal that for the people who haven't seen it, but we have got a podium coming after this. So if you don't want to sort of watch double live streams at the same time, by the end of this, we will reveal it. Right, well, the big foam hands are out, the crowd are enjoying it, and James, what a difference from the semi-final. This is a packed audience here tonight.
I know, I'm wrapped up warm now. I mean, honestly, it's much cooler really fresh temperatures now, but the crowd is. We've just had Simone start welcoming the Austrian athlete out onto the mats.
Yeah, Andreas is here to lead things off for us. That's the start. The athletes have to begin with the red lines indicate one limb on every hold. He's controlled the position. He starts this big move up towards that no texture. And wow, straight into the zone, James. It's a good flash from him to that scoring zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see how he adjusts his hands on here. Yeah, that's exactly what the setters were thinking. Bumping the sort of left hand up to sort of guppy the top of this volume that he's got with his left hand. He seems to still be quite low on that with his left hand. So maybe he's going to need to adjust. Well,
yeah, I was going to say, it looked like he was trying to stack a knee bar in under there. You know, when you sort of stand on your own knee in order to get some more knee bar potential. So I don't know if that was the plan or if it was just a weird position he was in. Just to remind everyone with the scoring, it's the new system in terms of scoring. 10 points for a zone, 25 for a top, minus 0.1 on every attempt to that scoring area. So it's pretty similar to the old system, just a little bit easier to look at quickly and see the score. Okay, so James, as you said, so far, so via the beater on this one. That guppy with the left hand looks like a pretty vicious move, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to make out the radius of that hold and quite what sort of angle you've got to take with your fingertips. But there's a radius to it. There's an in cut to it at the base, and then it slowly disappears to nothing. And you can see the patch of texture high on the volume, which gives the athletes a clue that you might have to use that area. So maybe the route setters have used it themselves when they were testing the boulders, or maybe they've chalked it up intentionally to sort of lead the beater a little bit. And as you saw there on that attempt, he did adjust it to that position, and it gave him enough stability and enough grasp to make the move up to the sort of next clear, no texture volume.
Yeah, it looked much better. He didn't faff around with the feet in the middle like he did the time before, sort of went for the more traditional method perhaps of going up. I do wonder how much the men's skin and energy is depleted, because a hard semi-final round, I mean, they were throwing themselves at the boulder all afternoon. They're going to be feeling fatigued out there, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were taking the materials off the mat from the semis, from the finals for the women, which was 2 hours earlier. And I got to chat to some of the French athletes actually to see how they thought about the level of the competition, and they were actually quite glad for a difficult round. They said very often these European Cup competitions can be a little bit on the easier side, and they were very glad of the challenge. I guess it's maybe because it's early in the season, it gives them a good test and a good benchmark to work towards or to work from.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, the athletes do usually want a fight, but it was a tough one for him. And Andreas looks out left towards coaches, I think, as he comes down. 1 minute left on the clock and just one move away from the top here. He'll be frustrated if he doesn't get this, but he's got some points on the board already.
Thanks to Climb Lab for these excellent brushes, which the athletes have got the pleasure of using on the mats today. Those wooden extendable brushes, really easy to adjust, and doing the business there, just preparing that sloper for his next attempt.
Yeah, it's such an important part, isn't it? So many little bits to a climbing competition, and thank you to all of the sponsors who provided materials for this comp. Right, that's the starting position. Using that back wall to kick off with the left leg. Drives upwards and nice and smooth into that volume.
Yeah, really good stuff, that.
Yeah, he's doing well. Right, this is the move that's got him before. He's gone a bit faster this time, so it might... Oh, no, as I say that, he comes down. Just maybe not set in the right position that time.
Yeah. The setters, apparently, I mean, I haven't spoken to the team as a collective, but speaking to one of them who took me through the boulders, basically they're envisaging you going left, right, and then left again to the finishing hold in a sort of triple hand movement sequence. So another sort of coordination-based sequence, but he thought there was potential for you to explode up to the final hold, missing that clear volume altogether. I mean, it'd be a tremendous swing, I would imagine, but I think that blue hold that offers you the top of the boulder would be sufficient for them to take the swing. But let's see.
Yeah, Guillermo, let's see if he can do it. I know what you mean by that paddle. It just seems so unlikely to me. It's such a slopey hold at the top. I'd love to see an athlete fly through that.
Yeah. Horizontal swings, as long as they hold them, are very, it offers a very electric moment during a competition, doesn't it? But
it's good to see that angle, actually, because Yeah, it looked from this angle that hold is flat. There is actually quite a lip on it, which is allowing them to jump in with such force. And Guillermo now will get set for this top. Right hand on the sloper. Oh, into a guppy with the right hand. This is right on the edge here. He looks up towards the no-tex volume. And close. I know what you mean, James. It's getting more reasonable, that move.
He had a handful of it then, didn't he? Yeah, but it's maybe not sufficient to hold. And after you've chalked up to maintain contact with these two blue textured things in the centre of the wall, it's maybe you're not in the best condition to hold on to something as slippy as that clear plastic. But
yeah, conditions good. You said, well, yeah, he did look good, and I can see a little bit of a breeze rustling his hair there. The conditions are pretty good here, nice and cold as we come up to 8:21 Central European time. Darkness has truly fallen.
So watching go on, carry on.
No, you say.
Well, I had the opportunity to watch the athletes inspecting these boulders, and it was a sort of story of 4 worlds or so. It was basically the French team together as one, presumably talking in French and discussing the sequences, and then the Italian athlete Nicolo was out with this gentleman from Spain, and then there was a clear separation, and the Austrian athlete was inspecting things alone, and so was the Czech athlete. So there's potential for some beta sharing here between this gentleman and Nicolo, so they might take the same approach on this boulder, but let's see how it pans out for him.
Yeah, it's my favourite part of a comp, to be honest with you. I love watching who's talking to who, whether it's about heights, friendship groups, or what's going on. It's just like a little soap opera on TV, which is brilliant. Right, Guillermo up in.
I've got a bit of inside intel.
Yeah, exactly that. You need to be our spy, James. You're doing a good job.
Yeah. No,
right,
I just got a message. So one of the route setters is telling me that apparently for the top of this boulder, it's a left, and then you go again to the top hold. So rather than it being a sort of left-right and take the final hold with the left and take the swing, it's sort of left and left again. So they are expecting the athletes to stop on that clear, no textured thing. Before they then go again with their left hand to the last hold.
Okay, I don't like the idea of route setters listening to what we're talking about, James. It's worrying stuff.
No, it's just not a random message, a specific message, but I don't think they're listening into what we're having to say.
Thank goodness for that. All right, well, that's the top hold there, blocked by a no text volume, and he was a bit far away there as he fell, slapped up with the left hand, but it wasn't close.
Yeah.
And has a look at 22 seconds on the clock. I think he might call it here. Yes, he is. So he leaves with just the zone in his pocket.
Yeah, and a tough start. Very unlike the women's finals, although we're making a concerted effort not to share any details about the women's finals. Just in case
well,
anyone's listening.
I mean, I get a bit of stick for this, but also, the internet is a wide place, and I feel like people would find out pretty quick. But I tell you what, let's keep it quiet until halfway through, and then we'll reveal them.
No, I like that.
People, anyway.
I hate sports being spoilt, and watching sports on different time zones becomes, you will have had your fair share of those. So it's, I'll keep it under wraps.
We'll try our best anyway. Right, Noé coming out from France. First member of Team France in this final, but they have got a few others. 4 Frenchmen in total will compete here tonight, so strong showing from them. And Andreas Hofer down to boulder number 2, which we'll check out in a sec. But look at this, straight in again from Noé. And then really the meat of this boulder is in this final sequence, up towards this sloper. And you can see from that angle, James, it's hard to get some momentum off your feet and drive upwards because there's no feet, and the only foot that there is a slopey one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really tough. They're really experimenting with these two volumes to try and get the most out of them. Both of those, this gentleman and the previous, both trying to sort of guppy the top of the right-hand volume.
Yeah, he was trying a weird thing with his heel then in order to rock up. My ACL screamed in sympathy with that one, so I hope he sort of changes things up. And then, slab number 2, James. I know you've given us a lowdown on this already, but sort of a similar kind of slab or something a bit different for the men?
No, something really quite different. I mean, seems really easy to establish yourself on the wall, but then you've got, as we see here, the potential for a slip at any moment, I feel, because Maybe it's a little bit blind once you're on the wall because you're very close and you can't look at your feet directly. You maybe are obscured by your own body and how close you're needing to stay to the wall. And then you've got these sweeps of texture on these balls, which are the only sections that you can feasibly use. So it's requiring a lot of accuracy, maybe a lot of memory and then delivery on the movement in a second moment, without being able to exactly see where you should be placing your feet. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, I can see that line of texture there. He's got a foot on it here, but you're right about being accurate, and especially when you're moving that fast and skipping across. It's such a small line on that final volume to land on.
Yeah, that's really cruel from the setters, I would say. I mean, ultimately, you're focusing on that hand because you need to catch the thumb on the small screw on next to the ball that's just above head height on the left before the zone. And so with focusing on that, you don't have the opportunity to look at that foot. And so you really need it to, you just really need to be sort of blindly accurate. And in this case, he has been. But again, you've got another blind movement.
Exactly, adds just that little element of luck into a slab climb. And again, we talk about the clock a lot, but that is going to be a nightmare if you're running out of time. Yeah. Well, Andreas goes up again. Let's see if he can do that. 1 minute 20 on the clock. He's been good so far on this move. Let's see if he rolls the dice again. Not that time, so he totally missed it with that left foot.
Yeah, I feel like this would be, you'd serve you well not to be shy about attempts. Just keep trying, because ultimately it will stick. And if you're in the ballpark, you have got a very fine line for the left foot, but if you're in the ballpark, you will land it. And it might just come down to a matter of attempts.
Yeah, agreed. Low percentage moves means you've got to throw many attempts at it. Let's see if he does that. 45 seconds on the clock, though. Not really anywhere near the top at the moment. Crimping the edge of the volume, gets himself set. Oh, just a palm trying to press in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's giving you on this early section some experience for the upper section because it just requires more of the same, really. But to get the zone, you need to make a move to a very blind yellow screw on that's just tucked around the, the very crest of that dome.
Yeah, well, he might have to leave that one because 10 seconds to go means this is Noe's last chance at a top here. Gets set, goes for the big leap and a big fall down. I think he just managed to twist away from his head landing on the mat there. That is a committing move at the top of that wall.
Yeah, good attempt, but yeah. Wow, only just
previous.
holding that.
Yeah, I didn't see that. That was literally fingertips there, and this was the last move I think he did. Got himself set, dropped that hand back down, brought that foot up, and then a launch towards the no-text hold. But just as you can see, the feet kind of slipping away from him as he moves, sending him head first down. Okay, let's see if Guillermo is better on a slab. Up he goes into a press position. He's got to bring the left hand in to start this boulder here. There we go. That's the starting position.
Yeah.
And now he will leap over to the left and keep an eye in the background as well. Second French athlete out of the evening, Leo Favot, is underway.
Yeah, Guillermo trying a very slow method there. And that looked reasonably promising, actually.
Yeah.
He managed to span.
There's Guillermo. Yeah, he was certainly looking up towards the hole. The beginning is just such an irritating start to a climb here because it's really stretched out, really hard to get into position.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it awkward to even... Yeah, I mean, you can get off the ground, but you haven't even started at that point because you have to make that awkward hand match. But he's got it quite well on that occasion, but then, yeah, not managing to make the span over.
Yeah, well, we'll go back to boulder number one now. Leo with the zone already in his pocket. Oh, couldn't quite get the foot. The athlete's trying something different almost every time they do this.
Yeah.
Elmo back in the beginning.
Seems like a really squirmy method, that, really bunching yourself up into a very small space, and you're opposing yourself with your left foot in the opposite direction in which you need to move. He needs to move leftwards up the wall, up and left, and you're forcing your body rightwards. So I'm not sure that's going to serve him well for the next movements, but yeah, they might prove me wrong. Let's see.
Yeah, well, he will rest now, one move away on the right-hand side. Guillermo, meanwhile, cleans up that nasty no-tech surface on the balls. Look at the eyes of Leo flicking around, but pretty much centered right in the middle of that wall where that 10 zone is. Figuring out how on earth you get your foot on something where there are no feet. That's the tricky part he's got to figure out here.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if using your foot in the no-text thing is the method to give yourself a kick.
It's interesting, isn't it? I think it is as well, but it's just a risky one when you're up there and you sort of feel pretty exposed. But let's see what he does this time. The first jump is pretty easy for them, it seems, just to spring off that volume up to the volume with a lip on it, which is nice. Campusing up towards the sloper, and he's brought the left foot up. Wow, he's going to have to require so much tension, so much friction in those fingers. Now, can he go left onto this hold? He gets himself set, that right foot kind of in the way, and another big fall down there.
Yeah, he's tried a dyno to the final hold, hasn't he? Which is which was the sort of method that the setters were envisaging could be a second option, but I mean that looked far. That looked like a right
enormous.
Move.
Yeah, without knowing it, he's unleashed plan B pretty early on in proceedings here. Oh, this is much better from him. Touch the zone hold there. Be interesting to see if that's awarded. I don't think he used it. I think he just sort of touched it and slipped down. We'll have to wait and see what the judges think on that one.
Yeah, you can see
not much time here.
Yeah, top left of your screen, so you can see that left screw on that's that indicates the zone hold for these athletes, for these male athletes on boulder number 2. It's it's so blind when you're going to it, and yeah, taking a good stare at it and maybe lining yourself up with it below it in position so that you can understand which line and which length you're going to have to take when you're close to the wall would be a good preparation.
Good tactic, yeah. Yeah, because the athletes are not allowed tick marks on the wall. They can't put chalk there like we can in outdoor climbing. So, they, as you say, they have to rely on those features on the wall to tell them where things are. Oh, he's been losing some skin on that one. It doesn't work. We'll have to wait and see on the zone.
Yeah.
But for now, he leaves and moves on to bottom. Yeah. Well, let's have a replay of this. This is as close as Leo got. Pretty simple move. Everyone's flashed the zone so far, and then this was the move that made me go ooh, because he had that right foot tucked right underneath, and I think it kind of got in the way eventually. He did flick it out of the way, as you'll see in a minute, rolled it back down to the right, but look at that slip and fall.
Yeah, it's so sloped off down to the right, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And the thing is, the second you try to push off that no-tex, I mean, you know what it's like. We've both felt those holes. It's like ice. It looks like there's a texture, but there's nothing there at all to be had.
Yeah, that sort of false texture that you can see comes from the inside of the hold. So ultimately, you look like you've got some sort of ripples to the surface of it, but they're actually on the inside of it.
All right, well, Andreas got close to the sloper power boulder, and a nod of his head thinks he gets close. Meanwhile, Lucas from the Czech Republic. And I mentioned earlier on he climbed Action Direct. He actually did. I checked that fact, so well done to him. And let's see if that's put him in some boulder shape for this final. I'm not going to try to pronounce his second name, James, I'll be honest. I'm a bit lost on that one.
No, yeah, don't look to me to do that either.
Yeah, hopefully someone can send me a message or something like that. We'll call him Lucas for now. All right, so 3 athletes, 3 boulders in action now. And back on the slab is...
Mokrolewski. Let's go with that.
Mokrolewski.
Mokrolewski, yeah.
There we go. Very good. Have you got a Czech person in there, James? That was good.
No, I'm fairly sure I went to primary school with somebody with a very similar surname, but...
That is a good memory then, in that case.
Yeah.
Right, Noe is on the slab, dancing his way across the no-friction balls. And then let's have a look at boulder number 3. And again, James, kind of a different style from that slab. It's very physical, this. Crimps into slopers and power moves.
Yeah, we've got a true footless section there. You know, there's not really any other way of doing that. You know, you've not got any screw-ons below you and underneath you. And then quite a basic edge that you go up to with your right hand, which is blocked a little bit to make it awkward. And then I don't think you need to campus into the pinch. You know, you can obviously use your left foot. But yeah, then you're having to engage the squeeze.
Lucas launches, wow! And what a spin in the air. I think he turned like 360 degrees there as he landed back down on the mat. So that was dramatic stuff from him.
Yeah, very committing go that. Good effort. Yeah.
I want to see replay, guys. That's your moment. We want to see that afterwards. That was massive. All right, well, in the background, and Noe is back onto this, teetering, that right foot drifting up the wall in order to balance him. Now tries to look for what is a blind left foot. Glances down at it now.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
Finds
He's
it.
climbing his way across this rather than any fast movements and any wrist-based climbing. He's managed to match feet and step across. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, what a move that is. I mean, it looks almost impossible. And I don't say that often with climbing, but wow, big slopers there in the middle.
Yeah, with it being so blind and so hard to find, and with the athletes not progressing over there so easily, it feels like we're going to see very few attempts at that, which will really limit the amount of people who are successful even on that zone, let alone the upper section of the boulder.
Yeah, agreed. It's a tough one on Boulder too. Right, now let's hope Lucas has recovered from that fall. Up with the left hand. Oh, campusing. Surely he can't hold it. Somehow he does. Left heel buried in the hold. Andreas falls off on the left of the screen. We'll stick with Lucas as he eyes up the final move. He's not doing it dynamically this time, and that's much better from him. No, but he drops a very, very top. Oh, Jacob,
what a
that was
moment.
it.
Oh, everybody in the stadium's holding their head and giving him a big round of applause for the effort on that boulder. Yeah, that really could have been it, but the rotation just pulled him off the wall.
Oh, what a moment from him. He changed tactics on his last go, which I think was wise. That's about as close as you can possibly come to finishing a climb. Let's watch it again. Or maybe this is the fall, I don't know. But he got, yeah, this is the last one, stretched out. And then look at this, 2 hands in the thing, but it was his legs spiraled his weight away from the wall and took him off.
Immense effort. Yeah, immense effort. Immense effort keeping that left toe when ultimately the higher that you pull, the more it's going to lever your toe off the foothold and ultimately lead to it, coming off the edge.
Well, let's take a deep breath, everyone, because Nicolo is on stage, and this man is on a run of form here. Keep an eye on the left as well as he heads up towards the principal falls. Yeah, Nicolo, what a round he had in semi-finals. Powerful stuff, qualifying in 3rd place for this finals. And going very sideways before changing his mind there.
Yeah, spending a lot of time to adjust there and try to find a comfortable position or something that he felt like he could pull from, but ultimately not having an attempt at the next move.
Yeah, so he will reset and rethink there. We can see brushing going along all over the mats when we are looking at M3. Very powerful no-feet climbing, which I suppose you get a bit of a rest on that slab from boulder number 1. There's not too many arms involved at this point in this climb.
Yeah. And again, we've got an athlete managing to match feet and climb tentatively, but in a fairly safely fashion across these balls. Fantastic.
Oh, that might have been the key. We saw others going slow, but then going fast at the end. He went slow all the way across. Right, keep your eyes left and right, everyone. Cross eyes for you all. Okay, right, normal eyes now, because we are 1 move away from the top of this slab. Can he get it done? He's got a hand on it. He does match it.
Oh, so
awesome.
great to see that.
That was a brilliant bit of slab climbing. Like, the technicality involved in his footwork and movement there was wonderful to watch. Great work from Noah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that ball after the zone with your left hand, you've only got another swipe of texture through it, so you get it with your forefinger and maybe your middle finger and a thumb, and you sort of pinch it across its diameter. So yeah, you can't be too greedy on that either.
No, absolutely not. Well, Guillermo's making progress as well, up towards big slopers, thumbs involved, 1 hand on. Can he match this now? That right foot is a little too far away. How on earth is he still on this wall? What a performance from him again! Yeah, right, something has happened here for the athletes. Everyone's stepping up a level suddenly.
Yeah, Nicolo has established himself really high on that wall on men's 1. He's looking very comfortable on those holds, but doesn't look likely at the moment to make the next move. He just hasn't found the position to go from, and time is running out. He's only got 1:15 left.
Yeah, I think the risk factor on boulder number 1 is something you have to embrace at this point. You can't do it safely. You've got to, at some point, trust that no-tech. So I'm hoping he's going to wake up to that fact with just a minute to go on the clock.
Yeah.
Maybe
if he
one
plays
last
his
go
cards
for
right.
him, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. If he plays his cards right, maybe he'll get an attempt on that final section, on those final movements. Nice to see him.
He's rested for a long time here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All or nothing now for Nicolo. Starts this movement into the jug, nice and smooth so far, but this is the part that's been letting him down. He just needs to commit to this move now, and he wants to. You can see the body wanting to go up. changes hand. Campuses? Gee, of all the decisions he did there, I'm not sure that was the one.
Yeah, that was desperation there at the end, wasn't it? I really think he changed his method mid sequence in those volumes, or maybe he just forgot that he'd moved higher on the second one on the previous attempt. But he's back to doing it again. He really wants to please his home crowd, doesn't he? He really wants to give it everything, but unfortunately, just not enough time and not enough time to reset.
Yeah, so a focused look on his face as he leaves, but this was the climb on the slab of number 2. All the technicality was really down low. You just needed to finish things off at that point, and Noé kept it very calm to make a smooth match.
Yeah.
And then this was the top for the Spaniard as well. Look at this, that right foot. I thought he was gone on that. Those legs, when they usually go that high in a sloper, you're gone. But somehow his pinch strength saved him. Incredible show of strength.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a tentative moment, and yeah, presumably quite a stressful one for his friends and family looking on. But yeah, he's managed to hold that and control it.
Exactly, me too. That was full on. We'll get a leaderboard hopefully after boulder number 1 gets done, so we know where we're at here. But right now, Antonin Girard is underway. Simone said it, that he crushed the semi-finals, and he's kind of true. He was looking in good form with that one. Right, boulder number 4 we saw a glimpse of. We'll talk more about it when we get there. But right now, Lucas, let's see if the pocket pulling machine can be a slab climbing machine as well as he comes into the match at the beginning of the climb here.
Yeah, there's a slab at the start of Action Direct. It's probably about, I don't know, 7 meters tall. I think it's probably less than 5+, but apparently it's dusty and dirty, so it's presumably...
And I'd imagine he tried it a few times as well on the way to climbing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Antonin tweaked his right foot there. He looked like he wanted to place it up by his hips, changed his mind, and he has this slightly confused look on his face as well. And Andreas down M4. James, tell us a bit about M4 then, just to remind us.
Well, off camera, Lucas has topped men's 2.
Ooh, sorry,
to divert attention, but yeah,
you're right.
Yeah,
Totally right.
unfortunately we didn't catch that, but yeah, in a very similar fashion, you know, pressed up into the penultimate volume and then got his foot high, and yeah, did the top section with relative ease and stability. So yeah. Competition's on.
That puts him in a very good position because that was his second go getting to the top of the bowl. So that leaves him in second with lots of climbing to go. Good work from Lucas then.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Interesting, right. Yeah, it's certainly more dramatic than the semi-final round, which was a cagey, tense affair. This is a bit more wild and loose, which is nice.
Yeah.
And now
looks like the setters have chosen well to make some last-minute modifications. They seem to be playing off.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see if he can launch. He's a gentleman who likes to fly across the wall.
Wow, nice footwork.
Yeah, this is good. Wow. That's the right foot he wanted to get up. You saw him sort of dancing that foot around in the air, but no, he's still not happy with the position.
Yeah. Now this is... okay. Yeah, Austrian athlete on the far side on number 4. First glimpse of that. Yeah, just exploding up for there is a small sort of baton yellow crimp. I mean, it's not very deep and not positive in the slightest, and it's sort of hidden away round one of the profiles of that last sort of semicircular yellow piece on the wall, and that's what he was aiming for. Looks like he hit it, but yeah, just couldn't maintain contact.
Yeah, I was watching Antonin there. Very interesting technique. So he's chalked up his fingers and he's licked his palm. That's because of the mixture of text and no text boulders here on the wall. Yeah, it was really odd to see. So just his fingers are chalked at the moment. And now I guess he'll use that palm or use the palm, and he's of course got his chalk bag for the upper sequence. You can see he's thinking because it is all fingers on this. He's not really engaging the palm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, a lot of the athletes that were starting out this men's finals seem to do well with the adjustment on that left palm and using the sort of higher section of the left-hand hold. And the later athletes have not done that at all, and they've been very tempted to sort of try and go from a more basic position in a sort of plumb line almost, and try to campus through to that next thing, but they're just not getting the distance.
No, agreed. Well, Andrea leaves the competition now. That's 4 done for him. And another incredible spinning fall there. Some of the most dramatic falls I think I've ever seen in a contest.
Yeah, I mean, that last move is really provoking it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, this was the top we didn't quite catch. 25. Look at this. Good work from him, and so calm at the top of the wall there.
Yeah.
And then this was Antonin. This was him trying to find the right foot, skating it around with that no-tex. Went for the slap up left, but didn't quite have the range on this attempt and was a little bit short on it. Antonin will go. Right, final athlete out on Boulder number 1. Samuel Richard, another French athlete. Oh, a bit of a wild start there, but he's got the move done. Now,
this is the young man that's recently climbed the island. So
yeah, the famous 8C in Fon, right? And another top on Boulder number 3. Great work from Noe there.
Samuel's forgotten his sunglasses for this round. He stepped out onto the mats to be welcomed in sunglasses despite the sun having gone down. Maybe it's the bright lights of Rome and Monkey Island here.
I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt and say maybe it was adjustable, focals where they come in and out from clear to dark. But I do think they were just sunglasses, weren't they?
Ah, it's a great statement. Yeah, bold. Yeah, I think that was a fashion statement.
I liked it. Right, Nicolo was disappointed with climb number 1. He's going for the more dynamic method into that sloper. And having seen it a few times, I don't think it's the way. I think you've got to go slowly on that move.
Yeah, he's going to be really stretched out though. I think you could hit it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you've got a chance of hitting it and kicking your foot up high, have you? So yeah, I think you're right. But he's going to be really stretched if he does. So let's see.
And Guillermo down on the left is finishing off his round as well. Currently in second position. We would like a few more points on the board here. And Samuel just not quite getting the range on this last move at the moment. Right, 44.8 is his score. Zone on the first, nothing on the second, top on the third, and a zone so far on the 4th climb here. So just the top escaping him at the moment. There is our full leaderboard. Yeah, come on, mate. Right, 59.8 is our current leader. To get onto the podium, you need more than 35 points at the moment. So we're at that stage of the comp where anything could happen. And Nicolo sets himself up again. What's he going to do here? He was slow through the first couple of moves. And then will he be slow on this one? I think this is better here. Bring that right foot on, wait till the last moment to pop. Lost balance in slow motion there.
Yep, that's escaping him, isn't it? It's pretty stretched out already in that position to then explode out of that position to the zone hold. Yeah, maybe he's got time to give it another good go.
Yeah, exactly. 44 seconds is time here, but it's rapidly running out. That's some shoulder strength there. Waiting to the last moment before committing to the right-hand palm. And you can see picking up the pace here. A couple of moves away from finishing this one. Up with the right hand, not quite. Almost had the tension.
Yeah, he was into that crimp for a moment there, wasn't he? He got a bit of hang time on that hold, but unfortunately, yeah, and just not enough. Seemed to swing out a little bit of a barn door, and that was it, he was off.
Yeah, and then I don't think that's going to be enough. So he leaves in second place as things stand, as does Samuel there. All right, Boulder number 1 is done and dusted. We move down as we see some replays of this top here. And it was controlled throughout for Leo Favo, and then, yeah, nicely done, and that has moved him into the top spot at the moment. Okay, next athlete's out. Lucas, after that climb of the slab, will have a go on Boulder number 3, and then Antonin needs to put Boulder number 1 behind him and unleash that slab's climbing skills here as he gets stood up into the starting position. Oh, that towel, that can be a bit problematic, that one, but it's out of the way now.
Yeah, did he take it with him on his foot?
He did for a moment, yeah, it was hanging. I don't think he's had any idea that happened. Careful with
very
the
good.
feet, smearing rubber on. And look at this from Lucas as well. He's one move away from the top. I think it's his flash go as well. Looks a bit awkward though now as he tries to work out how to bring the right hand. Of course, it's Lucas, so he tries to campus it, but it's maybe a step too far, that one.
Yeah, he's looking great in this comp. Yeah, really liking his climbing style.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the Czech team, the up-and-comers earlier on, and he's one to watch, I tell you, later. So chalk on for him. Brushers doing their job. He wants that sloper brushed, as you can imagine. There's so much dust and chalk on that thing at the moment.
What can Noe do on this slab? He's just stepped on off screen.
Right, keep an eye on that. We're watching. Oh, there we go. Back on.
Just the smallest of thumb catches there, enough to sort of stabilise yourself before you pop up. Ah, and he's gone very, very precisely there. I would have fancied that. Maybe not quite
Yeah,
deep
seemed
enough.
confident as well. Yeah, so some adjustments to be made for him while the brushers do their job. And Lucas is being so specific. That's the bit. Yeah, you can see the puff of chalk that he left on the hold. He wants all that gone. All right, let's have a look at this then. Stepping through, these crimps are nasty. Goes for the top one. Oh, goes for the foot. Everyone else has been going palm there. Interesting.
Yeah.
And gets himself set for this big flag move. Really powerful stuff from him. Just one move to go now. No way, no, the feet goes, but somehow he manages to save that, and he finishes things off with a bang, and this might jump him up into first. We'll have to wait and see. I think he did there as the graphic changed.
Great top there.
I thought it was gone, James, at the top there, but those feet just sliding away from him. Somehow he managed to save it.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got something really quite good at the top of that boulder to sort of finish on. I think, you know, whatever happens, I mean, just, you know, apart from maybe your foot going all together, I think you've got a good chance of holding that.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, he executed it well. Right, Lucas goes again. This was the section we saw him fall on before. Left hand in.
Oh, wow,
He's
nice.
found a foot this time. This is a powerful move as he goes all the way to the top, and again for the second time drops the move with two hands on the finishing hole. But there's no time to breathe because Antonin is up and into the final section of this. Big wide pinch on that ball. Needs to palm upwards above his head here. Wraps that left hand around, pushing off with the shoulders.
Again with the left hand.
Hits
Nice.
the left. Yeah, and then creeps up to the no-tex, which leaves you, I guess, a bit more room to bring that right foot up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, nice. Really good.
Yeah, it should be from here, and it is smooth.
Yeah.
So a top in a zone for him as he starts to make his play for a podium place. Down in 5th at the moment with 2 climbs to go. You wouldn't be betting against him right now.
Yeah, no, that upper section just seems like it requires you to stay cool, calm and collected, and, you know, it's not too stressful to get it finished. Whereas this climb
this is the
here,
top,
men's
and watch-
4, this is still...
Yeah, watch the feet on
this.
this.
Is still full value, isn't it?
Yeah, it really was. He was kind of celebrating almost before he finished the thing off, but those feet just getting away from him reeled it back in. And this was the top of the slab. Palms into the no-tex. Wrap your forearm around it just to get a bit more friction. Left hand on some friction finally. And a good match from him.
Yeah, Antoine's climbed really well there, getting that finished.
Okay, Samuel Richard then. Last climber to come through this slab, which has been topped a few times now. We flashed the zone on boulder number 1, which most have done, well, everyone's done. And Nicolo has another chance to impress this Italian crowd. Not going to happen that go though. And of course, he missed the zone on boulder 2 that might prove important later on.
Yeah, he didn't look close to getting that, so you can't really come away from that feeling robbed or anything. It was just a bit too far for him, wasn't it? And let's see if he can get something from this third boulder.
Alright, so Leo falls towards the top of that, gets the brush himself, and he'll adjust that. Back to the slab then from Samuel. Couple of fingers and a thumb engaged on that bag crimp. He goes for the very dynamic method, which hasn't worked that often.
Yeah, that looked really close
Ow,
though.
instantly.
Maybe he could hold that.
It'd be good to see, wouldn't it? I'd love to see someone jump through that move.
Yeah.
And do it like that.
Niccolo, meanwhile, getting really high on this boulder. This is promising. Surely.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's cruising towards the top there.
Oh, immense. Great to see him top something.
Yeah, so the order changes once more. That's bumped him up to 5th position as it stands. Samuel is still climbing though. Right foot drifts up the wall, then you bring it in underneath your body. Careful of the no-tex as he moves away from it.
Yeah, adopting a bit of an archery position on the wall there to stay in balance, but it's worked for him.
It has, and
Oh,
he
nice.
goes fast, and yes! Not as fast as the time before, but still quickly, and it's cool to see it done a different way. Right,
Yeah.
right foot up now. No one has got it wrong at this point. Hopefully he won't be the first. He looks in control, doesn't he? And yes, that is the top. So
Yeah.
from 8th, watch his score. It's going to go up.
Might be tight, this, between him
Yeah,
and
going to be
the
a
other
close one.
athletes.
Keep refreshing the app.
Yeah. Keeping the intrigue high.
Yeah, there is a free app, and that has, by the way, bumped Samuel up to 6th. There's a free app. You can download it from the App Store, wherever you get your apps. Just type in IFSC results or something, and it's totally free, and you can keep updated with things as they go. But that's the scoreboard for those who haven't got it. Leo leading the way with a 69.8. That final zone was important for him. And then to get into the 3rd position, where Lucas is currently sitting, you need more than 44.9. So with one climb to go, he's going to be a little bit nervous out there.
Yeah, I'd say. So Leo alone on the mats
Okay.
now.
Yeah, we've seen this boulder done a few ways. It's one of those, James, I'd love to have a go at this. You know, this looks like just a really cool bit of climbing out there on the wall.
Yeah, I don't fancy those pinches. Yeah, I mean, the route setters were saying that it's fairly easy to get started, but I mean, honestly speaking, that left hand's not great. And then, yeah, this bit looks interesting. Fancy anyone's chances on those edges and sort of maintaining stability here, but this looks really powerful.
Yeah, big shouldery move, isn't it? Well, one foot on the zone, he's going to launch left. It's very, very wild.
I feel like he's rushed that. He really could have taken a moment there. He didn't have to explode in such an energetic fashion, you know. He went further than he needed to go, I feel.
I think so too. I think he got a bit caught out by the time. He knew he was close, but he actually had about 5 seconds in his pocket there if he wanted it.
Yeah.
Right, Niccolo, this is his attempt, his top. And when he did it, I mean, look how casual this is. He just sort of campuses over, drop the legs, make the nice match. What's the problem? Good work, Niccolo.
Yeah, the athletes get a single beep for 10 seconds left, and he still had more than 10 seconds left, didn't he? So he didn't have that sort of trigger. But I think in the moment, with the music and the crowd, maybe he got a little bit lost in the time and knew he was pressed, and it was in the back of his mind, and it just forced him to try and make the move.
Yeah, I think you're right. Might look back on that one and rue it. Right. So now with the right heel up into the crimp now. Let's see how good his pinch is feeling. Left hand wraps around the hold. Right hand bumps in. Out he goes. It's going to get done from here. And expect to change to the order once more.
Yeah,
So
I'm
now
looking
gets
solid
that
on
done
that.
nice and quick. Yeah, flash for him on M3. That's put him up into 3rd position, so he moves into the podium spots now.
Yeah. Yeah, fancying his chances.
This is another man who has a chance here. Lucas down in 4th. He's just been bumped out of the top 3. Can he do anything about that? He hasn't got the zone yet. Hits the right crib. Oh, nearly loses the left hand and the feet there, all over the place at the moment. Yeah, it's one of those, if you were in a gym, yeah, I think if you're in a gym, you sort of jump down and be like, I'll start that one again. But of course, he loses 0.1 every time, so it's not an option.
Yeah, yeah.
All eyes on Lucas right now. He re-chalks up. He's got some tape on the end of those fingertips. And maybe struggling with a bit of skin. I think it is anyway. Now I'm trying to look at his fingers. I think on the right hand he has one tip taped up.
Yeah, on these holds, I don't feel like that will be too restrictive. There's plenty of stuff to go at really here. I mean, it is a little bit restrictive to some extent, but I feel like an athlete such as him can overcome that.
Yeah, I would agree. And certainly won't be caring about it at this stage in the comp. Lots of chalk on this one. He's rested for a while. Needs to be a bit more secure down low, not burnt the energy he just did. No left hand slip this time. It's a vicious move to the crimp though.
Yeah, I wonder if he's a little bit out of juice right now. I don't know. That didn't look anywhere near as good as the previous attempt. But you know, with a swift send on this, he would place himself in second, I believe, because he did take the zone on the first one and the third one. So with his top of the second boulder and a top on this, yeah, he would be in contention, well, for at least second place.
Yeah, he is. So is that podium slipping away from him? 57 seconds on the clock now stands between him and a medal. If he can pull this together. He's looking far away from it at the moment. Needs to discover some magic in those arms if he's going to get this done.
Yeah, he needs to get on with this go. It's time. Come on, Lucas.
Yeah, it's all or nothing now from the young man. Feet out, crosses through, hits the crimp. Better from him as he finds the palm. There's the zone, so he's going to get some points on the board. Chalks up to make sure of it. This is a massive moment for this competition. Finds this underclink. But don't rush, Lucas, at the very important bit. Hold the human flag. Beat Bobble, he's losing some energy now. Finds that right hand, he's dropped back down again to rest. And no, again he dropped the top of a boulder. That's 3 in a row for Lucas. Oh, what do you say at this point, James?
Heartbreak Hotel, that. I mean, he looked more in control than the lad who managed to top it ultimately, you know, so I'm surprised. I think he just didn't engage on the hold. Yeah, that's really tough lines.
Yeah, it could have been so different from him. You know, that's 3 potential top. That would have left him in the top spot.
Yeah, no, that's really tough. That doesn't reflect how well he's done there, but
no.
Yeah, great climbing.
Yeah, very good. That's the leaderboard that's been just changing around like an airport terminal here. Leo Favreau leading the way there with 69.8. He's our current leader. Nicolo wants to finish things off with a bang here.
Yeah.
Oh, claws onto that crimp.
Looking very stable here, isn't he?
Yeah, he's good on those small crimps. Oh. Those shouldery power moves, maybe less so.
Yeah, he didn't stab into it in a very closed fashion. Didn't sort of seem to extend with all 4 fingers there. He seemed to be in a sort of strange orientation, almost like he wasn't, you know, that wasn't a true attempt on that move to some extent.
Mm. Yeah, he needs to put it all together here. He's got time, 3 minutes, so he can rest his way through this. Yeah, dramatic moment in the crowd. You can sense the tension now in the stadium as they watch their favourite.
Yeah, absolutely. And nice that he's gotten quite high on that boulder quite early on, so he knows what he's dealing with at the top, and maybe has got enough in the tank to give it another good go.
Yeah, right. Out to slopers now. Not going to work that time. It's pretty doable, boulder 3. It's an important one to get done. Yep. Nicolo.
Oh yeah, really high on that swing there. Yeah, really even better than the previous attempt. And here. Yeah, looking great here.
Yeah, maybe he is putting it together, but no, that shoulder move again. It all goes to pieces on that final move.
Yeah, no, that looks like a real attempt with conviction, I would say, compared to the last one on that particular move. And he looked even better through the initial section of the boulder. So, 152. He's got time, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He's got time. And it's just that one move, I think, getting in the way at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to change for him. Does he need to... Yeah, maybe he needs to get higher on the move. You know, explode up a little bit more. Maybe overcompensate so that he's got time to hit the hold in a better fashion. Make a better contact.
Yeah, something needs to happen for him now. Meanwhile, Samuel is really struggling on that section in the middle. I'm surprised, having seen how dominant he's been here. This is causing him some problems.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, maybe it's the lack of familiarity with these holds, or yeah, maybe it's the build-up of chalk and he's not spending the time removing it. Yeah, maybe he's just not, with the open-handed strength. Maybe that's a different type of hold, or maybe he's a bit drained on that type of hold.
Yeah, it's been a long couple of days here for the athletes, qualifying yesterday and then semi-finals and finals today. You can forgive them for feeling a little bit fatigued. Both of them put on at the same time here. Samuel looking super confident as he can persist through this section, but it's this move he's got him, and he misses it again. Nicolo is well on the move that gets him. No.
Oh, there was at least a second and a half of sort of hang time as he sort of barn-doored out on that hold. It seemed like he might actually hold it that go, Nicolo, but yeah, unfortunately he peeled off.
Yeah, exactly. Well, both of them were either going to unlock the move they couldn't do or fail, and sadly both were sent back down to the mats. And you can see how disappointed Samuel is. He knew that could have been important there.
Yeah, look at Nicolo rousing the crowd for the last attempt. Yeah, he knew that was his last time on the wall. And, I mean, fantastic climbing. It's great that this crowd have seen a local athlete compete on these boulders and be fairly successful, despite the lack of tops. He's climbing well. He's, proving himself in a field of very strong competitors. So, yeah, hats off to him. I think he'd be very proud of those attempts on all these boulders.
Yeah, agreed. It was a good showing from him. All right, last couple here. Antoine. He's got 2 in a row now, so he's building some momentum in this competition. Currently sitting in 3rd. So he could do something to the podium. I would fancy him on this,
wouldn't you?
I would, yeah, I agree with you. Sort of, he's a man who likes these shouldery moves, and there's a big one to come off this.
Yeah, he could flash this. Come on, Antoine. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, he's certainly doing very well. This is the move, though. If he can hold it, right, he's now got a chance to flash it. This is it. James called it. Can he finish things off? Suddenly those elbows are going up, though. No, he just saw that right elbow go, like burning out a bit on the top.
Yeah, interesting method, like, dropping the hand off and sort of swinging himself up there. I thought he might press it out, I thought he might use his physicality to really sort of crush and sort of rock out left, but maybe that's not possible. Maybe that foothold's just too far away. Maybe you need to go dynamically and kick the left volume with your left foot.
Yeah, and I wonder if he's figured something out, because it didn't really look like he had a plan on that last move. Everything else was executed perfectly.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was sort of on the fly, wasn't it? Yeah, maybe he didn't expect to get that high in the boulder on the first attempt, but yeah, excellent first effort.
Yeah, it was, and now it allows him the luxury of doing this, which is just to take your time, slow down, breathe, and reread this boulder, because everything was almost perfect, but the margins are small here in Rome.
Yeah, I'm appealing to him telepathically not to run the clock down too heavily, because I was very disappointed that we didn't see some better attempts on some of those semi-final boulders. Because running it right down to 1 minute and then having a slip or a momentary lack of concentration which leads to a slip, it doesn't leave you any time to have another composed go or two. And yeah, I'd like to see him set off on the boulder with like 1:30 or 1:15 at the very least, but I feel like he's gonna disappoint me here.
Maybe he'll just do it. Not working. You could just hold up a sign, James. You might see that one.
I'll just shout, "Get on with it!" from the other side of the stadium. I think they'd hear me right now. It seems to have, all eyes on him, and it's very calm, and waiting for him to sort of raise the tempo again by stepping onto the wall.
I'm not sure that's going to help the reputation of Brits aboard, James, if you do that. I'm just warning you.
I can do it in the politest of fashions. Get on with it, my good man.
Yes, that's better. Oh, I like that. Yeah, lovely. Sophisticated shouting.
Yeah. Come on.
Well, he's ignored 1 minute. He's run. Yeah, 1 minute. There we go. Now he pulls on. Right. Well, he's only had one go on this boulder, so it's a risky strategy, this. Eyes up the left. He's so smooth through this section.
That was close, I think. That was close.
Yeah, I know. He was almost gone, wasn't he? Right, shoulder move. Has he got the beans for this? Just
Nice
about.
contact. Yeah, really good that.
No.
That's
Head
a
in his
shame.
hand as he hit the
Really
mat,
good go
yeah.
though. Fantastic go.
I think he's done, you know, I think.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah.
not enough
So,
time.
Yeah, we'll have a little look about where that's left him, because it's going to be fascinating. He goes off left, our cameraman goes right, and he is in second place still with that. So 69.6 with that zone. This was the move. That was the one that was almost gone, and you're right, that left hand was curling away from the crimp. Shoulder move was, oh, I say it was better.
Wow.
Look at those eyes, they were popping out of his head.
Yeah, yeah, that's unbelievable. Just showing the how strenuous that move is, you know. Surprised himself.
Yeah. All right. Final climber then, out onto the stage here. This is Samuel Richard. He's currently way down in 7th with only 44.
Yeah, he's got to be disappointed with his placement at the moment if he's got any insight into that. I guess he hasn't got direct insight, but he will know what's going on, I think. You know, I don't think the French guys would be sharing their success and failures with the other athletes on their team.
Yeah, for sure. There were a lot of them in this final, and look at this from Samuel. So up towards the top, but drops the shoulder move that time. Wants a brush.
Yeah, poor contact with that top hold. I mean, Antoine was so accurate on that. You know, from the first go, he hit it really well. I think he even hit it better on his last go. He seemed to hit it in a full crimp position, so getting really high, getting his body really high, giving him time to sort of stab it with all 4 fingers and a thumb over the top.
Yeah, and according to my calculations, he could definitely get into 3rd. Can he get into 2nd? Perhaps get into 2nd. It's going to be tight depending on the amount of times he falls. So this could be really important. But Leo Favo has won this competition, I think. James. I'm trying to do maths on the fly, which is never a good idea for me.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's got his 2 tops are within 1 attempt and 2 attempts, aren't they?
Mm.
So that. Yeah, I think that's pretty indestructible.
Well, we'll ignore the maths for now. Just enjoy the climbing. Let's see what he can do in his 2nd run through here. Big palm. That left arm, though, was up towards his ears on that move. Finds the right palm. Little pull up. Looks for the top. No, I think he was almost falling off that shoulder move before, and I'm not sure he's going to get stronger on that move unless he has a big rest now.
I think you're right. I don't think he's close to doing that move, actually. I mean, close, but yeah, not in the vicinity of holding it. It doesn't look good for him.
No, it doesn't. Well, that's the crowd who are focused on the action. Lovely to see so many people out and about in Rome watching climbing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this gym's got an amazing following. I mean, it's really out of the centre in the western part of the city. And yeah, no, people flock here to train during the week. And they host lots of competitions as well. So they had the national championships here in the middle of last month. And then more recently, what else have they had? They had the Italian championships here last year as well. So they're, yeah, like a seasoned host.
They've done a good job of hosting everyone here. 1 minute left of this competition before we will work out the podium, and of course have the podium to come, so stick around for that. Up to the slopers then, left hand, right hand. Last attempt, you feel, for this man here, Sam. Can he get himself onto the podium? Hits the left hand, big palm down. That's actually a bit smoother than he did before, but it's the next move that he dropped. Has he got something left in those shoulders then? Gets himself set. No, he hasn't.
No,
And I just think that might be it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, valiant attempts. All 3 of those attempts were really good. Yeah, despite him, yeah, not really looking close to sticking that move. Super powerful, and maybe he's just too extended, or yeah, like just running out of energy after a massive qualification day yesterday, and then yeah, very hard semi-finals.
Loving the dance moves, ladies, down at the front. Lily and Flavie, who competed earlier on, enjoying the atmosphere. And then this was Samuel's last move. He could have got onto the podium, but he's going to have to settle for 4th place here. Up with the left hand. Looked good in his last attempt with that move, I thought, but the shoulder move was always going to be a big task, and this is how close he came. Right arm going up, sending him down. We'll wait for confirmation of the men's results here, and there they are. So Leo Favreau winning the competition with 69.8, and only just behind him, attempts only, Anton down on 69.6. He gets the silver medal. Then Noé completes the French lockout, and in fact is a French top four. Samuel Richards in fourth, and then Lucas, great from him. What could have been 3 tops in his hands could have made it 4 out of 4 for him, but he's going to have to stay for 5th. And Anthony, Guillermo, and Andreas make up the rest of our top 8. So congratulations to them. James, what a comp, eh? That was brilliant.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, been great watching and paying very, very close attention to these boulders through the commentary aspect of it. So yeah, no, thanks for having me, and yeah, thanks for allowing me to join you on the live stream.
Mate, it was a pleasure having you. I think we're meant to be being quiet at this point, aren't we? Because Simone is going to talk us through the podium, or have I got the wrong bit here?
Yeah, Simone, here in the stadium is going to welcome all the athletes out for the podium. So yeah, we'll go quiet and let him do so.
All right, well, we'll let him take it away, and we'll return to say goodbye in a couple of minutes.
Cuore caldo per celebrare gli atleti. Allora Roma, fatevi sentire in questo meraviglioso cielo per questa ultima meravigliosa volta, celebrando tutta la grandezza della nazionale della Francia. Thank you guys. Allora adesso in 30 secondi andremo con le interviste al primo e alla prima classificata.
Okay, we're just going to go to some highlights of some of the attempts from this round, which was the men's finals here at Monkey Island in Roma.
So you're looking for the Liabria. Ok, se me lo porti dov'è ci sta. So, ladies and gentlemen, now here we are with Leo Favot, the winner of that European Cup events. So, Leo, you are already a gold medalist and winner in the European Cup environment, and you are a great climber. I hear that you climb also Espontas recently. That it's my dream. I will never do it, but you're a dreamer climber, and today you repeat a really incredible performance. So, how have been the comp for you? How have been the feelings during this comp?
Um, I I was really good in the final. It's not the same in the semi-final because we have a really hard run. But this one was pretty cool, and all the boulder when we make the observations looks really good and cool to climb. So yeah, it was a really good run, and I'm happy to send the boulder, and I want to send the last one, but close. And yeah, it was a really good competition.
Okay, thank you, Leo. And so this is just the starting moment for the international season, because in a couple of weeks we'll start the big season, obviously the Boulder World Cup, then the Lead World Cup, and then we will have the World Championships in the end of the year, which is your project and desire for this season.
So I just do bouldering, not lead, but I will go to the first World Cup in China, and waiting some response for the second and the third one, and depend of the result, maybe for the European World Cup, we will see. So I need to make some good results, and we will see. Yeah.
Okay, and so thank you, Leo Favot, and congratulations again for the victory. Thank you.
E quindi niente, andiamo direttamente a quelle che sono le premiazioni. Quindi Ceremony Awards, facciamo portare gentilmente il backdoor del podio e poi inizieremo con le premiazioni. Allora signori, tutti voi che siete là in fondo, siamo agli ultimi momenti, siamo alle premiazioni, io vi chiedo di avvicinarvi 5 minuti a quello che è il palcoscenico per andare a celebrare quelle che sono i podi e ascoltare gli inni nazionali. the starting tip. And so, ladies and gentlemen, now here we are for the ceremony award of that second European Bouldering Cup here in Roma. Please, Rome, makes an applause for the female medalist. So, ladies and gentlemen, third place and bronze medalist at the European Bouldering Cup Italy 2025, representing France, Lucille Sorel. Premia Roberto Bruni, presidente del Comitato Fasi Lazio. And so, ladies and gentlemen, second place and the silver medalist for the European Bouldering Cup here in Italy. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Italy, Stella Giacani. Premia Davide Battistella, presidente della Federazione Arrampicata Sportiva Italiana. And so, ladies and gentlemen, now here we are. First place, gold medalist and winner of the European Cup 2025 Italy, representing France, Lili Avriat. Premia il tenente colonnello dell'Aeronautica Militare Italiana Luigi Spagnoletti. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem of France. Ladies and gentlemen, the medalist for the European Bouldering Cup Italy 2025. E dai, ultimo applauso per le ragazze stupende. Dai Roma, dai. Thank you, ladies. And now here we are with the last moment of the event. Please, Roma, welcome with an applause the male medalist for the European Bouldering Cup 2025. So, ladies and gentlemen, third place and bronze medalist
for the European Bouldering Cup Italy 2025, representing France, Noè Motault. Premia Giorgio Trabucco, consigliere comunale. And so, ladies and gentlemen, second place and silver medalist for the European Bouldering Cup Italy 2025, representing France, Antoine Girard. Premia il tenente colonnello dell'Aeronautica Militare Italiana, Luigi Spagnoletti. And so, ladies and gentlemen, now here we are. First place, gold medalist and the winner of the European Bouldering Cup Italy 2025, representing France, Leo Favot. Premia Davide Battistella, presidente della Federazione Arrampicata Italiana. And now, please stand up for the national anthem of France. Grazie Roma. Allora, ultimo applauso, sorrisi sui trofei, fuori l'ultimo applauso Roma, l'ultimissimo, ve lo prometto. So ladies and gentlemen, with that, it's everything really over. I just want to thanks for the last time all the people that worked for this event, Keep Live, for bringing the streaming into the whole house, Andrea Cescato behind the console here, the EFC, and all the support that we receive with the honor to host this European Cup. And obviously, I want to thanks the city of Rome for all the love they've shown. See you on the next. Bye.